Hello everyone, my name is Rachel Witter, and I'd like to discuss with you all some important environmental issues. There's been a growing connection between natural disasters and climate change over the years. A natural disaster is defined as an event in nature which overwhelms local resources and threatens the function and safety of the community. It's the effect of a naturally occurring hazard taking place in a populated area, resulting in severe damage to the environment and often loss of life. Our climate has been rapidly changing, and studies show that mankind are contributing to climate change. Scientists can now blame individual natural disasters on climate change. Let me take a step back. That was probably a lot to take in. It's important to realize that we, mankind, are not the cause of natural disasters, but we are adding to the number of them and the intensification of them. In this video, I've picked 3 natural disasters from my board, and I will be explaining the human impact of the climate change that causes them, along with how they are formed. Starting off with natural disaster number 1, droughts. There's been more emissions of greenhouse gases leading to more droughts in ever recorded history. Greenhouse gases are emitted into the atmosphere when sunlight penetrates the gas layer of the atmosphere, which is then partly absorbed and partly reflected. Small particles in the air ensure that a percentage of reflected radiation is sent back to Earth. Mankind, however, have created a lot of extra pollution, such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide. When there's an increased amount of radiation sent back to the Earth and the heat becomes unable to escape, the temperatures on Earth constantly increase and at rapid rates. This has a big impact on all living things worldwide. Droughts can cause vitamin deficiencies, such as vitamin A, and that could lead to child blindness, a growing number of diseases, poor hygiene, and in some cases, mortality. Now for natural disaster number 2, tsunamis. The word translates from Japanese to English, meaning harbor wave. It's caused by underwater movements such as earthquakes, landslides, and volcanoes. The large waves are formed on the surface of the water. They travel great distances across the ocean, eventually losing their momentum. When they hit land, the waves slow down, but their height does increase. This increase in height causes there to be more destruction. Climate change has not only affected the atmosphere as mentioned before, but impacts the oceans too. To start, it's important to know that the melting ice masses change the pressures on the ocean's floor and can lead to more tsunamis. Rising sea levels can also cause the balance of ice masses to change. Climate change is causing the melting of ice masses, and it would not be happening as quickly as it is if it weren't for man-made contributions, such as the use of aerosols from wood or coal fires. As global temperatures continue to rise, the glaciers will continue to disappear, which in return will make the sea levels rise and cause there to be a greater number of tsunamis. Let's get shaking with natural disaster number 3, earthquakes. They're caused by the movement of rocks, known as tectonic plates, under the Earth's surface. The fault line makes the gap that's between each plate, and it's affected by the movement, causing pressure to build. Then, a shock wave is sent out. The increase in earthquakes can be linked back to humans because we're creating situations that ignite, lubricate, and put pressure on these plates. Mankind have been building reservoirs on fault lines all around the world, filling and draining them. The water in the reservoir can lubricate faults, and draining the reservoir makes and lifts pressure. Furthermore, filling a reservoir can force pressure on the water at the bottom, which can run into the ground and create cracks and instability. Fault lines grind against each other. They don't slip past each other smoothly or evenly. As pressure builds and the faults are ignited, they eventually jolt suddenly, creating an earthquake. Man-made climate change leads to more ice masses disappearing, which can lead to more shakes, rattles, and rolls. Earthquakes can seriously injure those crushed from falling objects or surrounding structures. Rubble can also make wounds become infected. Earthquakes can bring fires too. Those affected from the fire may suffer from burns and respiratory problems due to smoke inhalation immediately after an earthquake.